Sean Garrett and Derek Stafford, the officials. Game 6 underway. Phoenix coming off a Game 5 win, 114-108, when they scored 38 points in the fourth quarter. Nash, first shot of the game. Rebound by Josh Howard.
Everything that Avery Johnson has tried against Steve Nash has failed miserably. They've got to come up with just a basic stick defense and try to shut him down.
And right away, the first-team All-NBA guys head-to-head. Nash did not give Nowitzki a clean look. Richardson needs to get a few of those going to the basket.
If Quentin Richardson gets into this game, Phoenix has a much easier time because now Dallas is going to be concerned with 5 offensive players, and Richardson has been struggling.
Only 7 points in Game 5. Now the normal matchup. Sean Marion, very good defender on Nowitzki. Michael Finley, who has struggled from the field the last 2 games.
And you can see early in the ball game what the Phoenix Suns are doing. They're switching everything.
Richardson tried again to Jim Jackson. Good hustle back by Howard.
Great quickness by Sean Marion in the passing lane. Third team all defense.
Howard the miss. Mavs have missed on their first couple. Back come the Suns.
What Phoenix is intent on tonight is creating the pace early.
Stoudemire inside. They destroyed Dallas, scoring 66 points in the paint in Game 5. An early one there for Amari.
And Avery Johnson has got Jason Terry guarding Steve Nash, which is different than what he's gone the last few games where he had more size with Josh Howard on it.
There's the switch. Nash recovers. Terry needs to get going offensively. Able to draw the foul early on the MVP, Steve Nash. And we're joined tonight by Jim Gray. Jim?
All right, Mike, thank you very much. I spoke to Dirk Nowitzki before the game. He told me he is feeling pressure, and so is his teammates. He says, we know where we're at. He said it was very embarrassing in Game 5 to give up 66 points in the paint. He said the only thing that was more embarrassing was to watch it on tape. Spoke to Avery Johnson. He said our team has to be aggressive from the start, all night, everywhere. Nothing about the equation can be solved. We cannot play this team on their heels. And finally, I spoke to Jerry Stackhouse. He told his team in the huddle, hey guys, if you're not hungry, don't come to the table. Get out of the way while the rest of us eat.
As Stackhouse did in Game 5 with 29 points, he's been the best bench player in this series. Richardson.
Well, the one thing you know about Stackhouse, so he's hot and cold. He was tremendous in Game 5. He may not draw an egg tonight. He may be in that category with Eric Dampier.
Early touch, early dunk for Dampier. Very important for Dallas to get him involved early. When he's been involved early and played well, the Mavs have had success. Slapped away off the leg of Nash. Good defense by Terry.
Referees letting it go. They ignored the traveling violation against Eric Dampier, the slack down on the wrist and hands of the Phoenix Suns, Richardson and Nash when they go to the hoop. Referees, the whistles in the pockets early.
Stafford said all these switches. So Terry over Stoudemire gets on the board from the field, and the Mavs are on top by 1.
Didn't you tell me once upon a time these are the playoffs? We don't worry about the officials and their call.
That's what we want.
3 on 2 for Dallas. Howard, the runner. No basket. This will be called on the Mavericks.
Mike, what are you saying about Bosco and Outlaw and Terry?
They've had a very nice run a couple hours before the game shooting. Overplay, the steal by Howard. So 4 early Phoenix turnovers has turned into 4 of the Dallas 7 points. They're being physical with Nash here tonight. Offensive foul, is that Nash's second? Or
No, they call that on
screen?
Amari Stoudemire with the screen.
Just laid it out. Whenever you lay out a pass to a team that's got guys that play well in the passing lane, the results are they pick it off and they play above the rim. This is what Phoenix doesn't want to see happen, and certainly Dallas is thinking we got to play that way the entire game.
The crowd is surging, trying to push their beloved Mavericks through the fatigue.
Hoping to force a Game 7 Sunday in Phoenix. Howard, very active, very effective early. Josh Howard, 4 points, couple of steals, a 9-0 run by Dallas.
They come with a quick double team on Amari Stoudemire. Intelligent decision making be the order of the day there.
Nowitzki slapped it away. Stoudemire, 10 on the shot clock. Threw it away. 5 Phoenix turnovers. 5 in a row, guys.
The score is 9-4, and being down by 5 points never phases the Phoenix Suns. What they've got to get is better decision-making in that 5-point deficit.
They've got to get somebody who can stop Josh Howard individually with man-to-man defense.
Michael Finley looking to get hot. Off of Howard again in the lane. He's been the best player in the first 4 minutes. Stoudemire took it all the way and draws the foul from Finley. And guys, what we've seen thus far when Phoenix has had the ball is we watch Howard hustling again.
Well, Finley is expert in just dribbling to a spot, but Quentin Richardson is the man who's matched up with Josh Howard. And Richardson is not getting the job done in terms of containing him, putting any sort of pressure whatsoever. Josh Howard, supremely gifted athletically, just having his way.
One more coming for Stoudemire. It's been a very aggressive defensive effort from Dallas. More physical, something Avery Johnson hoped to see as you look at Stoudemire, who's been dominant in this series.
But when you're down 3-2, you got nothing to lose. You might as well just come out and start hacking and scratching and flying to the hoop. And what are you going to do? You're down on the ropes anyway.
You picked Dallas to win this series, didn't you?
Not this series, this game.
Oh, my.
Terry. Look at Howard again. Almost came in for his 4th rebound.
Well, one of the reasons he's able to do it, though, is they're switching. So Steve Nash is the guy that's being picked up by Josh Howard.
Amari hangs in the air and draws the contact. This is as physical, and Mike D'Antoni is all over Derek Stafford right now. This is as physical as they have been all series on Steve Nash.
Well, one thing Nash is going to do, he's going to keep coming. So we'll find out whether the physical nature and the way that they're playing has an effect on Nash's aggressiveness, whether he can be effective.
That high screen and roll. They stay with Steve Nash that time, which is not something that they've done in the last couple of games when he went for 48 in game 4, and then 34 in game 5.
The foul on Josh Howard, guys, was his 2nd, so he has to come to the bench. And the hand here for Jerry Stackhouse coming off the 29 on 11 field goals made. The one thing with Howard, he's been getting a lot of fouls. 56 of a possible 72 fouls thus far in the 12 playoff game.
He got caught up in that Stackhouse speech about if you're not hungry, let somebody else eat. So he's fired up.
But if you play at that level all the time, eventually the referees will just stop calling the fouls on you.
Nowitzki's taken one shot, missed it. Marion Garza comes across the lane for 2.
Impossible to stop if you're Sean Marion in that situation, who's given up about 4 inches in size.
You would rather see Dirk Nowitzki trying to play in the post than outside.
Nash the miss, Stackhouse the rebound. The bounce and the step belongs to the team in home white. Dampier down the lane.
Now we're seeing out of Dallas what they should have been doing the entire season. Playing with the tempo and quickness and really trying to be the aggressors and throw some of Phoenix's game back at them.
But not only is Dallas's defense able to disrupt Steve Nash, but the rotation's back to the guy that Nash is backing or passing to. But with Eric Dampier, obviously the game plan is to set him up. The penetration, Amari Stoudemire should come all those times because Eric Dampier has given the Mavericks nothing to this point in the series.
Eric picked up the last foul, his first. Beautiful pass by Nash as they work the screen and roll the 2nd time to free Stoudemire, who has 7 of the Phoenix 9.
Phoenix Suns' best road team in the NBA this year.
Stackhouse is fouled in the act by Jim Jackson. What a battle these guys have had. It'll be 2 free throws for Stack.
The pressure is on the Dallas Mavericks to play this way the entire game. They don't want to end the first quarter in a 2 or 3 point ball game after having dominated the first 6 minutes. So there's 6:15 left, and let's see if they can keep this energy, the tempo up to where they get a bigger lead, a double-digit lead at the end of 1.
One more for Stackhouse. We remind you that there'll be a game on ABC Sunday. Our coverage begins at 3 Eastern. Either Game 7 of this series or Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals with Phoenix and San Antonio. Meantime, the Eastern Conference Finals set. Detroit, Miami, Game 1 from South Florida on TNT Monday at 8 Eastern.
One of the true testaments to the job Avery Johnson has done is how he's been able to get Stackhouse and Dampier and Jason Terry to become team ball players.
Sean Marion has been terrific in the playoffs, averaging a double-double. Splashes down to 3. Deflection by Jim Jackson. Will have 17 to shoot.
You know, he gets rebounds, and he's not that big a leaper. He's in traffic, but does have great hands.
All defensive rebounds in that game. One sub at the timeout. Darrell Armstrong has come in. A little more pressure on Nash with Armstrong up top. Jim Jackson quarter triple.
And finally, a point out of the backcourt. Nash scoreless so far. That was Jim Jackson's first hoop.
Stackhouse to the baseline. Attacks he got right around Jackson.
No defensive rotation whatsoever. They're just putting all kinds of pressure on Steve Nash.
Darrell Armstrong picked up a foul here in the backcourt.
One thing you can't do is give Stackhouse the baseline. There's no way that help's going to be able to get over there in time. Jim Jackson got to make an effort to stay in front of him.
Yeah, but what was that with the fake offensive foul try by Quentin Richardson? He's not going to get a charge again.
Nash, again, more contact. Out to Marion up top. Sean Marion, 2-point game. 5 minutes in. 5 minutes left first quarter.
It's amazing that Dallas is playing perfect, Phoenix is playing awful, and it's a 2-point game.
I sense a switch coming.
On the court or at the table? Finley on the cross court, 5 to shoot. Use the Dampier screen to get a 2. The defense by Stoudemire. Nowitzki the rebound. Dirk will get some free throws.
If you give up a contested jumper on one side, you've got to own the defensive backboards on the weak side. Sean Marion, Amari Stoudemire, they're getting pushed around out there. Dirk Nowitzki getting to the glass.
Marion's in front, a little hand in the back, and got him far enough under to where Sean Marion couldn't get back to that rebound.
But when you're playing against a guy who's bigger and stronger, and Dirk is huge out there compared to Sean Marion, you've got to keep your chest on him so that he can't push you in the back. The referees will not allow that push to take care of the front part of the body.
Are you saying face guarding?
Absolutely.
2 free throws for Nowitzki, first team All-NBA. First player not to go to an American high school or college to be first team All-NBA. Leandro Barbosa from Brazil is checked in to the Phoenix lineup.
Face guarding is not allowed.
Nash, Armstrong got lost as Stoudemire set the screen, and Steve on the board with his first field goal.
You guys talked about his rebounding. What amazes me is his conditioning level. I think he's up there with Lance Armstrong as being the world's most conditioned athlete.
Bill, hang on a minute. It's basketball, it's not the Tour de France. It is, though, a tour de force opening first quarter for Dampier. 3 dunks.
Where's Amari Stoudemire? He's nowhere.
Then to shoot, Nash. There's Amari. A foul is called late on the whistle. And for Dampier, it is 2.
Dallas is playing a desperate game. Phoenix is playing a game knowing they've got a cushion on Sunday if they need it. Not a good way to approach this.
I think Phoenix wants to close this out tonight. There's no, we want to wait till Sunday. We're not going with the Walton theory of we'll win in 7.
Well, we'll go to the bench
I don't
here.
think that's a good strategy, Steve.
Alan Henderson's going to come in for Dampier. Guys, the second foul for Dampier has been a story throughout. Game 1, Game 3, barely 4 minutes in. Remember that Game 1 early second foul, why Nowitzki called him out. And he was able to stay on the floor into the second quarter the last couple of games. But here, the early foul trouble.
But Eric Dampier, like Quentin Richardson, has never played in games of this magnitude at this level.
Stoudemire couldn't squeeze it. Terry comes away with it. And back here, we have a holding foul on Richardson.
And these games are played at such a blistering pace that unless you have some sort of experience how hard it is. And that's what championship experience teaches you. Mike D'Antoni certainly has that from his days as a player.
They are running players in shifts at Steve Nash. Jason Terry re-enters the game as Armstrong goes out.
Yeah, so we'll set the 5. You have Terry, Stackhouse, Michael Finley, Nowitzki, and Allen Henderson. Stack again attacking at Stoudemire. Here comes Barbosa with Marion, Nash, Richardson, and Amari for the Phoenix Suns.
They are desperate to get something out of Barbosa, and they can find a way to get him into the game early. He'll have a chance to play. Nash against Nowitzki.
Turned away by Dirk, threw it off the back of Finley's arm. It is 4-on-3. Terry late to the pitch. Not a good decision on the break. This one will be fine. Amari.
I love Sean Marion as a defensive player. I voted him for Defensive Player of the Year, and he didn't make either first or second team. Shocking.
When you vote, that is the kiss of death.
10 for Stoudemire. Terry takes Nash in. Amari comes over for the foul. 10 to shoot for Nash. Barbosa left 3. This would be big for Phoenix, and Leandro Barbosa knocks down a 3.
Phoenix is shooting fabulous. They're 9 for 13 on the game, but their 8 turnovers have really cut down the shot attempts that they've been able to put up.
But they are tied, Mr. Walton. Let's remember that. It's 24 to 24.
And Dallas has to be extremely concerned about that.
Nowitzki on Marion. No help came. The 2 fouls for Amari Stoudemire brought Stephen Hunter into the game. A little bit different in the middle.
The Phoenix Suns big men, Hunter that time, Stoudemire before, they're waiting at the basket for guys who are coming. You got to come away from the hoop to make your defensive stand. Great defense, Jason Terry.
Denying Nash, now 5 to shoot. Nash one-on-one trying to make it happen. And the foul is called. Again, that storyline of being more physical with Nash shown there.
One thing that Dirk Nowitzki is doing more of here early in the ball game is being active at the offensive end. Doing a good job of getting himself clear after running the baseline to come inside to score.
And when we talked at our meeting with Dirk this morning, he was having trouble with his offensive back-to-the-basket game, which is not really the strength of the way he plays. So many times in the early years of his career, he was playing against bigger guys. It just did take him out to the perimeter and drain the jumper. Steve Nash would set him up off the pick and roll for all kinds of easy opportunities. But now that Dirk has to create for himself, it's a whole different story.
It is a transition with Avery Johnson taking over in that mindset as opposed to Don Nelson. Stackhouse looking to go baseline right again and draws the foul on Jim Jackson. Jackson
is a step slow in this ball game. He picked up the 2nd foul, getting up too close on the quick first step of Jerry Stackhouse. Make Stackhouse show you that he's going to drop that jumper like he did in Game 5.
You know, after listening to Jim Gray's report about feasting at the table, it appears that Jerry Stackhouse is coming for a second sitting.
Quentin Richardson in. Jackson to the bench with 2. Tomorrow, the 2005 WNBA season going to tip off over on ABC. You'll see Lisa Leslie and the Los Angeles Sparks battle Sue Bird with the defending champion Seattle Storm. 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific, the WNBA season begins on ABC. Minute 20 left, first quarter. Dallas has led most of the quarter. They lead by 2. Nash did not hit it. Steve is 1 of 5 from the field here thus far. Nowitzki, much better rhythm to his shot the last couple of games.
But that's Nowitzki at his best, facing the basket, catching and letting it go rather than thinking about it.
Richardson, the find of Hunter, fouled by Allen Henderson. A couple of free throws coming for the 4th-year man out of DePaul.
This is the way the Dallas Mavericks played in Game 5. They led throughout that game until Dirk Nowitzki got poked in the eye with the Three Stooges defense. And when he went to the locker room, that's when the Phoenix Suns took control.
You're still trying to say that he couldn't see after he came back.
No, he had no rhythm, and the team lost their momentum.
One more coming for Hunter. You see Nash to the bench. Mike D'Antoni trying end of the first. You'll see it end of the third, trying to get Steve out, give him the break in between the quarter so he gets as long a rest as possible. Hunter, who put up an air ball, one of his 2 free throws in Phoenix in Game 5, goes 0 for 2 here.
This is the worst Steve Nash has played in the playoffs this year. 1 for 5 shooting. The rest of the Suns, 8 for 9.
Stackhouse, 8 to shoot. Walter McCarty came in for Nash. Stackhouse went right at Hunter. No foul call. Back the other way. Numbers Barbosa at the point. To Hunter. He threw it down.
Finally, something off the bench for D'Antoni. Barbosa with the beautiful setup for the strong finish by Hunter.
Hunter at the rim, denied one, got the other. 5 seconds the difference, game and shot in a very high shooting percentage opening frame.
Anything off the bench is good for Phoenix. They're approaching record level futility in that front.
Nowitzki to Henderson inside. 10-year man out of Indiana gets his first 2.
And that's part of what Avery Johnson likes to say, being patient offensively, making that extra pass.
Barbosa to end the quarter. They wanted goaltending, saying Nowitzki touched it while it was in contact with the cylinder. As Dirk hits the deck here at the end of the quarter, he seems to be okay.
Welcome back to Dallas. I'm Jim Gray. As we get ready for the second quarter, the Mavs have a 4-point lead over the Suns. I'm now joined by the great golfer, Phil Mickelson. He won the Masters a year ago, now playing in the Colonial this week. A huge Phoenix Suns fan, as he used to live in the Scottsdale, Phoenix area, now in San Diego. What gives you the most joy in watching the Suns?
Well, watching them do well. After last year not even making the playoffs, having new ownership come in and get Steve Nash, the way he's turned the team around, has been amazing. It was a lot like Jason Kidd when he came in to the Nets and turned them around.
Phil, you follow this very closely. Who do you like to win the title?
Well, I'm a little biased. I like Phoenix, but I think that they're going to have a tough road, first of all, to get past Dallas. But then if they do, San Antonio, they've always had a little mental block against. And I'd love to see the Suns matching up against the Heat. I think that'd be an awesome series.
I want to ask you, standing on the free throw line and standing over a putt, can you compare the concentration level that's needed?
It's loud over a free throw. It's pretty quiet over a 3-footer. I don't think a 3-footer is nearly as hard as making free throws under the clutch.
Final thought, U.S. Open's coming up, Pinehurst next month. How's your game?
It's coming around. I'm getting ready for Pinehurst after coming close in '99. I'd love to play well there.
We'll never forget that with Payne Stewart, that you were a father and he won, the late Payne Stewart. We wish you the best of luck here at Colonial. Thanks for talking to us, Phil.
Thank you, Jim.
Mike, back to you.
Jim, thank you. Leandro Barbosa with the score there as Phoenix comes back.
Suns getting major contributions off their bench with Barbosa, Stephen Hunter, now Walter McCarty in there. Quentin Richardson and Jim Jackson and Nash could come alive. Suns could take control of this game.
Jerry Stackhouse tied with Dirk Nowitzki, leading the Dallas scorers with 8. Stackhouse has come in, hit 2 of his first 5 field goals.
But the points in the paint. In last game, Phoenix had a 35-point advantage. Tonight, it's all Dallas.
Barbosa got close, should have had that one. Back comes Howard on the floor with his 2. Terry left free for 3. 9 points for Jason Terry. Dallas, largest lead of the night.
Well, an aggressive Dallas Mavericks team looking for the early scoring chance when it's there and sticking it with confidence.
Barbosa, Hunter, McCarty on the floor for Phoenix. Dallas making a run against the bench. Nowitzki hauled it in. Couldn't find Howard, who keeps it alive with plenty of time to shoot.
Get the ball back to Jason Terry. He's red hot.
The ISO'd on Barbosa, something they've done a lot of in this series. The foul is called, and D'Antoni can't wait any longer. He's going to get Steve Nash back in the game, along with Amari Stoudemire and Jim Jackson.
You know,
That's why he's coach of the year.
For the first quarter, they maintained contact. That's what he wants to do now until they figure out how to get control of the tempo of the game and the scoreboard as Terry is sizzling.
Tremendous reversal here of points in the paint from game 5, 66 over the course of 48 minutes, but into the second only 12, and Dallas determined to get to the rim and throw it down.
Remember that Stoudemire, Marion, they will give you points in the paint because they don't want to get in foul trouble. You got to be able to finish those plays.
Howard on the miss, back comes Nash. D'Antoni saw exactly what we were seeing. It didn't look like the Suns on the floor. He had to get those 3 subs off. That looks like the Suns. Marion missed the dunk, but got it back and got the hoop. Sean Marion, 7 rebounds, 7 points.
And Sean Marion is due for an explosion. I mean, he's been playing very well as Terry scores again.
Remember, Jason Terry had the 2 phenomenal games against Houston, Game 4 and Game 7 in the first round. This is as good as he's looked offensively since. Marion a response, 9 points now.
Oh, the quick attack, but if someone can play some defense for the Phoenix Suns.
Dirk, quick trigger shot.
And Amari Stoudemire looks confused whether to go for the block, whether to stay for Eric Dampier.
Nash over Terry. Got his own rebound. Marion for 3 in a row. Jason will get that one. Steve Nash is just 1 of 6 shooting here tonight. Howard, so aggressive tonight. Foul on Richardson, his second.
You cannot come into a game of this level and magnitude thinking you're going to be successful taking charges.
For the 62-win Phoenix Suns.
The problem for the Suns is that Stoudemire and Nash have both been outplayed here tonight.
Jackson missed, Howard the rebound. For the 5th time tonight. He leads all Dallas rebounders. Stoudemire had a hand on the line. They say no foul, so it will be Mavericks ball.
If you're Dallas, don't wait for Phoenix. Just keep attacking. Go to Howard. Go to Terry. Go to Stackhouse. Finley is struggling mightily.
Stack, fake the 3, got a better 2. Dampier on the putback. He is 4 of 4 from the field, 8 points. You know, in everything you look at, obviously, most guys have better stats in wins than losses. Dampier has been a barometer, but he just picked up a 3rd foul as he had a hold of Amari Stoudemire.
And silly foul. As a big man, what are you doing grabbing somebody around the waist at the 3-point line?
Well, because that could turn into a dunk. Amari Stoudemire is the guy that is trying to catch it. As you look at Dampier, get possession inside. And I'm sure that D'Antoni is going to talk to Amari Stoudemire about finding his man, making sure he seals and stays in front.
Neither Sean Marion or Amari Stoudemire are doing a credible job of boxing out tonight.
Jim Jackson on the take. Rolls it over the front rim and gets it back to single digits.
Dallas does not run out of the net as well as the Phoenix Suns do.
They used to when they had Nash and Ellie was coaching. Michael Finley has been ice cold.
Things have changed.
I know that.
I think that's a statement against coaching.
Terry the shake and bake. Look at Howard. His energy has been fabulous tonight. 6 rebounds.
What he's doing is he's chasing the ball. He's the first one to it, and the Suns are going to have to react better to him. Stackhouse with a miss.
Back comes Phoenix. Stoudemire was discarded on the other end, so only 4 Suns on this trip. Mario coming to your screen with 15 to shoot. And Jackson working baseline, killing time, waiting for Amari. Was able to draw the foul. For those of you who have not been following this series as closely, now the only conference semifinals still going, we've alternated wins. Phoenix got game 1. Dallas comes back for the game 2 victory in Phoenix. Mike D'Antoni's team came in here, saw the Mavs have a horrible 3-point shooting night in game 3. 1 of 18. Phoenix won by 17 points. Then Nash had the 48-point game, making 20 field goals in game 4. Mavs won that one by 10. And then Phoenix gets the 6-point win the other night to get us to 3-2 in the best of 7.
But in that game, when he had the 20 baskets, he only took 28 shots. So that's supreme efficiency. He has a horrendous field goal percentage tonight.
At some point, these shots that he's getting inside are going to start to fall. They're still not doing a good enough job of keeping him out of the paint.
He's had the same looks tonight. This is the first time in a long time that I've seen Steve Nash look tired.
But wait a minute, wouldn't you credit Dallas's defense? They're far more aggressive with him tonight than they have been the first 5 games.
We talked about Steve Nash being in the same category as Jerry West, Oscar Robertson, and Michael Jordan. The defense never had anything to do with those guys.
Are you taking him out of the category now? Do you think he's getting tired? He's gonna, you know, there's 31 minutes to play.
We'll have to see how the game goes.
What happened to the Tour de France, Billy? It was a quick stage. Finley for a 10-point lead. Michael Finley has not hit anything. He has hit 10 of his last 36 field goal attempts. Awful for Finley. Marion off the mark. Class is crashed by Richardson, but his foot was on the line. Dallas ball.
Finley had the huge game 2, which put him into the series.
31 points.
Other than that, Michael Finley showing his age.
Finley, 10th-year man out of Wisconsin, age 32, has played a lot of minutes in high-tempo basketball for Don Nelson over the years. This will be a foul
On Darrell Armstrong.
Picked a foul up against Quentin Richardson. Richardson was trying to get through. Armstrong got in his way.
I was ready to say foul on Armstrong. Richardson was the one who looked panicked. He thought it was his 3rd foul. Instead, they do get Armstrong for his 3rd.
But one of the reasons that Avery Johnson likes Darrell Armstrong is he's one of those supremely confident players that believes he is the best player in the game. Finally, an easy layup for Steve Nash.
His 2nd field goal. He has 8. Phoenix has made just 5 field goals in the 2nd half, yet they are within 5.
We have done a lot of Darrell Armstrong games together. I've never heard you say that. Supremely confident.
Finally, Finley gets one to go. Phoenix a hair too quick. They will turn it over some like that. 9 turnovers is high for them in a half. Armstrong to Howard.
The second chances. That's what's hurting the Phoenix Suns right now. They got to mop up on that glass and get the first stop.
Amari Stoudemire is a step slow to the ball on every play.
Nash back-to-back field goals. He and Stoudemire lead Phoenix with 10. Terry has 11. Howard 10 points, 7 boards for the Mavericks. Dallas trying to force Game 7 Sunday at America West in downtown Phoenix. Nowitzki, 3 of 6 from the field tonight.
Unguardable, classic post-up offense.
Armstrong knocked down by a Marion screen. No foul. Nash draws him. Kicks it. Jackson. This is going to be offensive. On Jackson, his 3rd. Josh has scored 17 points per game in this series. He plays with that emotion that comes back to that edge we talked about a moment ago. Sometimes he gets him in foul trouble, got him a technical in Game 5. He's maxing it here tonight. Nash to miss. 4 of 10 from the field. The Mavs can take this out to double digits as we get a minute from half. Nowitzki, par 3! When's the last time you saw him do that in this series? You saw him do it 5 times a game with Don Nelson. Much better rhythm. 7-0 the run for Dallas. Stopped by Nash.
Well, when Nowitzki's playing well, he's aggressive and assertive and looking for a shot. He's done that tonight. They turned it over.
Marion almost gave it back. Barbosa cleaned it up.
How long can Avery Johnson go with Michael Finley, who's given the Mavericks nothing tonight?
Marion. Howard the board. 2 for 1 time if you want to. Finley trying to get hot.
The Phoenix defense just giving up wide open shots. Steve Nash is way off tonight.
We'll back that out for 1 shot, and they will as the shot clock is actually ahead of the game clock. It should be off. No fouls to give either way. Nash hit the deck. Triple from the corner. As we come to the end of the first half. The 3rd quarter in this series has belonged to Phoenix. Phoenix has outscored Dallas by 32 in the 3rd quarter.
I think Phoenix is the best conditioned team in basketball. Oh my goodness.
Look at Stoudemire. He holds it like a tennis ball in suspended animation. He did that a couple of times in the 4th quarter of Game 5 as well.
Now he's one of the winners of the genetic lottery.
That different from the NBA draft lottery Tuesday on ESPN? Howard rattles it out. Nowitzki fighting, held by Stoudemire. 3 on Amari.
Problem for Amari Stoudemire is being able to stay out on the floor and have this kind of impact at the offensive end. Big play offensively, misses a chance to get the rebound, and he picks up his third foul. They need him out on the floor, so he's got to do a better job of sealing and going to the glass.
I just keep driving it to the hoop because Stoudemire's picking up careless fouls.
And he's not rebounding tonight, just 2. Nowitzki. Dirk Nowitzki's shooting touch has come back. It's not like he hasn't been scoring. He's been averaging 26 points a game, but 34 in the last one. And Nowitzki with 15 thus far here tonight.
You see Sean Marion pass up a shot. That's what Dirk Nowitzki was doing, and that's why we're struggling. These are freewheeling, free-shooting teams, and when they feel it, they got to let it go.
The former Maverick, Jim Jackson, misses. Back comes Howard.
No effort whatsoever by the Suns on the offensive glass. They need to start extracting a price on this Maverick squad that's just rolling here on their home court.
Dampier, as they ISO'd for him, couldn't get it to go. Marion had the corner 3, went in for the 2 off the window.
Marion is the guy who's the best player on the court for Phoenix tonight. 16 points, 11 rebounds.
Every team needs one player to keep them in the game, and that's what Sean Marion is doing right now.
Nowitzki and Dampier screen and roll. A little wrinkle there. Nowitzki, a 7-footer, and the ability to screen and roll with another big like Dampier. Boy, what a reversal in point paint. Points in the paint, he says. Jackson at 2. Terry on a treadmill, going hard to the hole. Free throws coming.
Now this is what Dallas should have been doing the entire series, playing at pace and using all of their people to get the shorthanded Phoenix Suns on their heels.
Dirk Nowitzki, not just a scorer, not just a big guy. His ability to set up his teammates, but Jason Terry continues to just toy with whoever comes at him.
And the beauty of this, these are the guys who had the verbal sparring after game 1. Remember, Dampier was called out by Nowitzki for his lack of effort, being a step too slow. A lane violation there, so we'll go 2 feet.
The evolution of Dirk Nowitzki. When he joined this league, he was terrified to say anything to anybody that might be the slight bit controversial. Now he's calling out his players, and the Maverick fans saying, hey, why don't you do that before the series even starts?
Nash has it knocked away. Still Phoenix ball. Bill, you always point out that with so many international players in the league, for some, because of the language barrier, it is tough to be a leader. I asked Dirk about that before game 3. He said, it's not that tough as he comes up with a turnover. He said, I'm a shy guy by nature. It's taking me a while to evolve into this role. And remember, he didn't come in as a first or second team All-Star. He had to evolve into the player he's become.
Nice.
Setting up Dampier again. Stoudemire hands off, said, I'm not going to foul you. I'll give it to you. Finley, 3. Still 0 going on for Mike. 1 of 6 tonight. 11 of his last 39. Nash a triple. Rattles in.
Even though they got a transition opportunity after a nice outlet by Amari Stoudemire, Suns big men are getting pushed underneath the basket. Terry's just having his way. And look at Jason Terry. He's right up there in Steve Nash's face. I'm going to wear you down. You're old. You've been playing huge minutes. I got the fresh legs.
I thought that was Lance Armstrong.
Stoudemire trundles down the lane for 2. Amari's hit all 5 field goals, 14 points, but only 4 rebounds in the first 28 minutes of Game 6. Phoenix trying to eliminate Dallas and get to the conference finals for the first time in 12 years. Five to shoot. Howard. Dirk Nowitzki had Nash, so he went up and easily got the rebound. The double comes. Finley never really had it in his hands. Richardson lost it out of bounds.
Well, the ones that they can control, they're not controlling, and Dallas gets one more opportunity, up 7.
Watch Steve Nash. Every time one of his teammates bobbles the ball, he goes over there and pumps him up. He'd pump him up even more if he'd make a bunch of jumpers.
Dampier, very active. Finley, finally! A three. Stoudemire, quick response. Ronnie Garrison said he went straight up. No foul. Look out. Building will go nuts. Howard got it. 12-point lead.
If Amari Stoudemire would not double clutch in that situation, he'd be shooting 2 free throws instead of having this crowd start the celebration early.
Trying to set aside pick and roll. Not a lot of room.
Got to go right now. You had Nash along that baseline, an opportunity to get out in transition, squandered.
Dirk wants to take it. Nash came down. Tripped him. Foul call. Amari is asking about the call on the last trip down, and Ronnie Garrison there, the explanation. D'Antoni, Nash, and Stoudemire.
Avery looks like he's playing tonight.
Well, they're playing like Avery would be playing if he was suiting it up in an elimination game. Dirk is asking for it. Pick and roll again with Dampier. D'Antoni's going to have to stop it here. Timeout, Phoenix. Eric Dampier scored 15 points in Game 2, 0 in Game 1, 4 in Game 3, 2 in Game 5. So in the losses, he has been really poor. As you see, tonight, he has 15 points, equaling his career playoff high from Game 2.
That's obvious he does not get in that Gatorade that often.
Well, they took a huge gamble on Eric Dampier, thinking that he was going to be the answer to Shaq and Duncan.
Jackson, baseline, tried to corner pitch Marion, 6 to shoot.
And while Dallas has always been out ahead of the curve with Mark Cuban and his vision and Don Nelson, this move is the big controversial one, because I think the future of center play in this league is this guy right here, Amari Stoudemire, although he's not getting it done tonight.
Back out. Richardson. He misses the three. He's 9 points in the quarter for Phoenix.
In 1 for 5, Quentin Richardson is. Hasn't made a three-pointer in memory.
I'm going to quote someone famous that said he's got to take more shots. He hasn't taken enough shots.
Hey, Dallas is taking all the shots.
What a block by Amari Stoudemire, his first of the game. Nothing has been easy for Phoenix. Dallas's transition defense has been nice here this evening.
Well, Dallas is playing with that sense of urgency of desperation. Jackson misses.
Richardson, the putback, and they had the post up down there, but Josh Howard flashing over, forced it out of his hand.
Maybe an offensive rebound, the ball coming his way, instead of him trying to force the action, will be the key to Quentin Richardson finding his game again.
Offensive rebounds are even in the game. It feels like more. Nowitzki drew Stoudemire's 4th personal foul.
In every game that he's had difficulty with that play from Dirk Nowitzki. A little pump fake. This is what shot blockers do. They get in the air. He was hoping he could avoid the contact, but he's going to have to sit down.
In the game,
Well, they are behind him.
Marion. Howard comes to get the rebound for the 11th time tonight.
They're in trouble of getting blown out of here.
Finley trying to bang back-to-backers, kept them alive for Howard. Fresh shot clock. They don't have to force it. Richardson knocked it out of bounds.
But who for Phoenix is playing well enough to turn the tide?
They're down 13, 4:40 to go. What they want to do is get this down to single digits at the fourth quarter break. So let's see if they can do that.
That's what they want to do, but who's going to do that?
Well, Sean Marion's been playing well, and if Marion can continue to score, they'll be okay.
Here's Howard down the lane. Dallas has been the aggressor on both sides, offense and defense. They've set a tone right from the start tonight.
Where they've had their biggest trouble is containing their men. They've not been able to keep men in front of them this entire ball game. A lot of reaching, a lot of holding, And that's the reason that Howard and company have been getting to the free throw line.
Phoenix nor Dallas is a team that is blessed with top individual defenders, with the exception of a Sean Marion.
One more coming for Howard. Stackhouse back in for Finley. Jerry's been very good. Josh Howard at the line. We talked about all the great players out of that 2003 draft, and obviously Dwayne Wade, who you'll see in the conference finals against Detroit, and LeBron James at the top of the draft. Chris Bosh has played so well. And Josh Howard taken at the bottom of that draft, 29th pick in that draft. He's emerged into a very good player, averaging 12 and a half in the season, 15 points per game in the playoffs, 17 tonight for the second-year man on the Wake Forest. Marion. Dampier alters the shot. Here come the Mavs. 5-on-2. Phoenix able to get back Nowitzki from the elbow.
How can you leave Dirk Nowitzki open in transition?
Stoudemire called for it. Pushed by Dampier before the catch.
Dirk Nowitzki is the first guy you guard. And he is so wide open, he could make that if his other eye was blackened as well.
The one thing is they're not picking up the players in transition. So who's ever got the ball, they're having trouble containing him. Then they're able to get the second opportunity. Dirk Nowitzki knocking him down tonight. But they're playing like a team that has to get to game 7 and are controlling the game.
Nice hand for Dampier, who picked up his 4th personal. Alan Henderson in now. He guards Stoudemire. Phoenix cannot find an open look for a 3. And the second time, Sean Marion drives and uses that angle shot off the glass for 2.
As great a player as Sean Marion is, he's not a lead player. The lead guys have got to be the ones to turn this tempo around for Phoenix, and that's Nash and Stoudemire, and they're not getting it done.
Well, sometimes the lead guys are slow in getting into the game, and that's been the story tonight as Amari Stoudemire trying to tie up Alan Henderson.
And they get the jump ball that all started with good defense by Nash, who slapped it away. Stoudemire staying in the game here, guys, with his 4 personal fouls.
Huge risk.
Phoenix is playing a slow and reactive game. They're waiting to see what Dallas does every single time.
Dallas trying to force game 7. It will be Sunday on ABC at 3 Eastern from America West. The Mavs win tonight. They will fly out tonight to Phoenix because it's a noon local start in the desert. Marion, corner 3. He's been the hot sun this quarter. 21 for Sean Marion along with 13 rebounds. Mr. Playoff double-double. Back to 11.
Dirk's the one who's sizzling right now. Get him the ball every time. He's not only great on scoring, but passing and playmaking as well.
Is Terry off the mark? Rebound Richardson. Terry pestering Nash. Foul. It's just the second foul on the Mavs here in the quarter. Amari Stoudemire still in with 4 fouls. Henderson physical with him. The bang and the bucket, and all of a sudden it is a 9-point game, and Amari can take it to 8.
You know, all they want to do is chip away right now. Give themselves a sense that they can get back in this game and watch the Dallas Mavericks starting to tighten up. This game is a must-win game for Dallas. You know, even though players say they like it winning 6, you know, Phoenix knows they got a game to burn.
One of the things, obviously, Game 7 is so special because it is what it is. It's you must win to survive. But Game 6 also tells you about the mental makeup of a team, like San Antonio and Detroit last night. Close it out when you can. Don't mess around with Game 7. Inside of 2 minutes, Nowitzki a 3. Chance to take it down to 7 or 6. Getting a little quiet here in Dallas. Jackson holds it out to Richardson. Nash, a good shooter. Rips hard on a 3. 6-point game. It's a 10-0 response from the Phoenix Suns.
He is by far their team's best shooter. He's the one who's not the streaky player.
Terry tries screen and roll with Henderson, well defended.
I remind you, earlier in the game, he was on a bad streak, and you said he's not going to get it going.
Stackhouse the miss, Nash the push, Marion, Tim Jackson, toes set, a triple, write it down!
This is unbelievable what the Phoenix Suns have done. And Sean Marion, his swing passes on the fast break, 13-0 run in only 2.5 minutes.
Remember what D'Antoni said, we can keep it up. Can they? Jason Terry quiet the run.
One of the good shots they've got in the last few minutes. They have not been getting many shots. No run can start without a stop. And Phoenix has come up with a couple. Off the ball.
Tough break.
It's
Amari Stoudemire pushed off.
For the 5th time. Stop.
This is a very tough call here against D'Antoni's Phoenix Suns. They come with Stephen Hunter. It was so far away from the play, going against the second-tier players of Alan Henderson, who comes in knowing that he can just get as physical as he wants, almost baiting Amari Stoudemire. We're going to have to take a look as to what happened away from the ball there.
Get there in a second. Huge moment in the game. So mark this score. Dallas by 5, 51 seconds left. Stoudemire on the bench with 5 fouls. Howard goes right at Hunter. Travel. Look at the 5th. Get back to the 5th foul in a second. That turnover by Dallas just at 7th.
Amari Stoudemire right in the low post there. He's down in Alan Henderson.
See the push in the back. And it's an easy call to make. I'm sure he was saying, you don't make that call.
Balderdash. This is the playoffs. This is a second-team All-NBA.
Oh, I see. We're back to that guy. Balderdash, huh?
Marion fakes the 3. Sean Marion couldn't hit the 2. Nowitzki tied up with Richardson. It's out of bounds. Off.
The Suns were right on that one. That ball went off Dirk Nowitzki, but they don't get the ball. 6.8 left to go.
Stoudemire can't believe the frustration setting in of being taken out of this game. 5 fouls.
Well, you know, D'Antoni gambled. And as I said, it's a huge gamble knowing that he has a tendency to pick up those touch fouls.
Final shot of the 3rd taken by Howard. 2 big shots. It got down to 3. Terry hits a runner in the lane. Stoudemire picks up his 5th. Howard closes the quarter. And the Dallas Mavericks are up 7. When Steve Nash was healthy. Tim Jackson, so good in the 4th quarter, denied on his first shot. Remember Jackson's 4th quarter, the difference early on in game 5, won by Phoenix back in Arizona. Howard couldn't finish, rebounded by McCarty, who's on the floor because of Stoudemire on the bench with 5 fouls. So a very small group with Marion and McCarty, the lone bigs for the Suns.
I don't think Steve Nash is coming out the rest of this game.
Tim Jackson hits that hoop, 5-point game. This is the stretch that Mike D'Antoni would put Steve Nash on the bench. He gets, I guess, covered essentially in towels, lays down on the side there and waits till about the 9-minute mark.
Well, that helps to dry you off and take the water off that is just pouring out of your body.
Nowitzki.
Block. Great defense, Sean Marion. Now find Marion in transition.
It's 5-on-4. He comes to the left corner. Open is Jackson on the right side for 3. Is it another Tim Jackson 4th quarter 2-point game?
Great spacing by the Phoenix Suns. Knowing that Nash is going to get them the ball if they just move and give him some space.
The nervous crowd is here at the American Airlines Center because Phoenix just continues to come back.
Terry, his feet never really set, but he still knocks it down. Put on the line at 2. Quick hit, Marion, right at Finley. Foul on Mike.
It's a good thing Jason Terry is having a superb game here along with Josh Howard, because Jerry Stackhouse, who was doing all the talking prior to the game, came out with a couple of nice dunks early on. Since then, he has done absolutely nothing. And joining Mike Finley and 2 guys who have not done much to help the Mavericks cause.
Well, Stackhouse has those games. He's up and down. The last game in Game 5, he was tremendous. Tonight, after his initial start, not been able to get it done, but he's an attacking, an aggressive player. And Stackhouse subscribes to your theory. It's not how many you make, it's how many you take. And he likes to take a lot of shots.
I love the enthusiasm of both sides. It looks like a college game behind the free throws, both places. The Gorilla is throwing stuff up in the air in Phoenix. Here they've got bricks and signs. It looks like a construction zone. These fans have been great. As a matter of fact, guys, there is no blue paint available in Dallas. It's sold out from all the kids and the young fans painting their bodies. They are so into their Mavs. Nowitzki skip pass for Finley.
That's a terrible shot.
The Phoenix Suns can tie or take the lead on this possession.
That Finley shot going to his left. He loves that shot. Just has not been able to get any rhythm tonight.
He's not stopping strong enough.
Nash to the cup. Game tied at 86. Timeout, Dallas. Phoenix has come all the way back.
In that same draft, 92, the 14th selection, Malik Sealy. 5 years ago today, Malik Sealy killed in that automobile accident up in Minneapolis. How sad. The world a lesser place because of that loss.
Here is Terry out of the timeout. He misses, rebounded by Quentin Richardson.
Uh-oh, we've gone to the lick now. Steve coming up the court.
Steve Nash.
So are you telling me that we're in the mountains of the Tour de France and Lance Armstrong is going to reappear and suddenly he's going to start torching people?
Slapped away, 5 to shoot. Nash looks at the clock, draws the double. Jackson cuts, got to shoot quick. Hunter. They're saying no shot. Disagree with that, but it's a shot clock violation nonetheless.
I concur with your opinion, Mike. But I think what we're seeing right now is a superior physical conditioning of this Phoenix Suns squad.
Well, go back to D'Antoni. He said they can't keep it up. And now they're starting to settle for deeper shots against some pressure defensively. Avery Johnson and Del Harris, they're both concerned.
And a nice job by the 7-footer Hunter to give Nowitzki a very poor look at the basket. Fresh shot clock here for the Mavs.
But the team game and the movement attacking of the basket that defined Dallas's game in the early going has disappeared.
Nowitzki climbing down the lane, trying to draw the foul, and there's nothing going except Phoenix ball. And Nash wants to get it and go.
Right, but while Nowitzki was down, the referee, Jim Capers Jr., saw that and allowed Dirk to get back on defense.
3 of 14 from the field. Dallas over this stretch as Phoenix has gotten back in the game. They haven't led since 4-2. Jackson tries to give him the lead, and he does.
Wall Street is on money here in the fourth. He's got 8, and they like him.
Well, penetration and dish. Phoenix is getting wide open shots. Everything for Dallas is contested off their own dribble, going to their weak side.
Phoenix is at 6 of its last 7 threes. The recipe for the whole season is how they've gotten back in it. Richardson faked the 3, right to the cup for a 2. What a comeback by Phoenix.
This is one of the most amazing turnarounds I've ever seen.
It is a 27-6 run. Stackhouse attacking the glass, draws the foul.
The cheerleaders are up, and that Outlaw, Bosco, and Shirley, and they're saying, keep going, guys, keep going. And if you build enough of a lead, we might get in this and close it out. But this is a team that believes in what they're doing, and they're challenging the Dallas Mavericks in that conditioning area right now.
Stackhouse 29 the last game, now 9. Let's remind you that on Sunday on ABC, our coverage begins 3 Eastern, either Game 7 of this series or Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals, San Antonio at Phoenix. TNT Monday begins its coverage of the Eastern Finals, Game 1, Detroit, Miami at the American Airlines Arena in South Florida.
Stackhouse, a tremendous free throw shooter, not only in percentage and accuracy and pressure performance, but also in the volume of shots.
Nash, screen and roll right there. Terry, good defense all night, takes it away to Howard.
You got to get something better on a 4-on-2 fast break than that.
Stackhouse in the lane, trying to find Nowitzki. The good defense of Marion takes it away.
They don't wait for anybody.
Nash free. Steve Nash, 9 of 17 from the field. 24 points, 9 assists, 6 rebounds.
But the amazing thing is that he had nothing going early. And now it is just perfect. Now he's back in that zone.
But that's why they play 48 minutes, and that's why a guy gets a chance to get some rhythm. Nowitzki steps out of bounds, so now the tension is beginning to mount on the plays for the Dallas Mavericks. Every one, there's a little bit of contested effort, and they're also mishandling the ball.
And Dallas is the team that looks fatigued, not only physically, but mentally as well.
And Amari Stoudemire on the bench with 5 fouls through this stretch. Nash steps back, missed the 3. Howard goes to get the rebound. Who will it be? Who's the step-up guy for the Mavericks? Who wants to take these big shots?
But there's no style, there's no identity. It's just one-on-one play. That's good enough for a while. But at the championship level, where Miami, Detroit, San Antonio already are, you've got to have a system. You've got to have a style that has continuity to it.
Stephen Hunter gave up his dribble. Richardson has it, 9 to shoot.
Great defense, Terry denying Nash.
Richardson gets the roll.
I tell you, Richardson has turned that matchup around here in the last couple of possessions.
Well, he's turned it around here in the 4th and most important quarter. He's being aggressive. He's getting the ball to go in. 4 in the quarter for him. Jason Terry, and 1.
Dallas gives Phoenix a little of its own screen and roll medicine. The foul on Nash for the 3rd time tonight. The 6-minute mark with 5 fouls. Amari Stoudemire coming back in.
Jason Terry, one of those players who never wears out. And he can just play basketball at that level all day long.
It's too early to come back in with Stoudemire?
Well, I think that they're trying to go for the finish. It's still too early, and he has a tendency to pick up those cheap fouls, but I think he senses that if they can push to 7 or 8 points, they might be able to close it out.
Now, if you're Dallas, you go right at him, try to drive, get him involved in screen and roll, get him out of the game?
But who are you going to go at him with? Not Eric Dampier. That'll just take you out of your game.
You love Dampier in the first half. The guy 6 of 8 in this game.
He picked up 2 fouls, screen and roll, Nowitzki and Dampier. Here is Nash to Stoudemire. Phoenix by 2, halfway through the 4th. Amari inside.
Now, that's the way to go to the rim without double clutching, which never worked for him in the first 3.5 quarters.
Terry left free for 3. This is the best game Jason Terry's had since the Houston series. Marion able to catch and get the second one back.
Quickness, balance, anticipation. Sean Marion's got it all.
Nowitzki hits the floor like 50 times a game. Terry again drawing contact on Marion for the 4th time.
The Phoenix Suns, they might want to take note of the fact that Jason Terry's right-handed.
Here's the quarter so far. The Mavericks just 12 points, 4 of 11 from the field. It has been 46 points in the second half for the Phoenix Suns. They have had their way in the second half with Dallas throughout this series, and that trend continuing here tonight.
Well, Dallas points by quarter, 32, 30, 22, now only 12. Now, granted, there's still 5 minutes to go, but they're not getting to 30 points in this 4th quarter.
Jason Terry is a guy that's keeping them close. He's got 9, looking at 10, and with a chance to make it a one-point game.
Official 2005 playoff merchandise, NBAstore.com. Great Suns and Mavericks playoff gear. Suit up now for the rest of the run. Jason Terry, the last 8 Dallas points.
Steve Nash not as good when he has to turn his back.
Got in the lane, pitched it to Jackson. 6 to shoot, Nowitzki on defense. He'll rise up quickly over Dirk and throw an air ball over the 7-footer.
The one thing that Phoenix does not worry about are missed shots. They're going to miss some. They're going to be some bad-looking shots, but they're going to continue to throw them up.
Nowitzki, second time he fumbled the catch. Draws Richardson's contact and the foul on Quinton. His 4th. Richardson, Marion have 4. Stoudemire has 5. That's 3 team fouls on the Suns this quarter.
When Dallas runs that screen and Jason Terry comes up, I don't know why they're switching that, because that just plays right into what Dallas wants. And that's the same switch that cost the Phoenix Suns game 2 when Quentin Richardson ended up on Dirk Nowitzki on the game-winning play.
It's not the switch, it's the fact that they're buying on the pump fake. Every time he catches it, he gives him that little pump fake, gets to the free throw line, and gives him a 1-point advantage.
Dallas first to 100. Let me correct. Phoenix 4 team fouls, not 3. Only 1 for Dallas. Stoudemire in the lane, trying to hang in the air. Contact, no foul. Mavs making a surge back.
Just go in the air and dunk it.
Well, that's what he was going to do, but he didn't quite have control of the ball, and they want a 20-second timeout for Dallas and Mavericks.
But Eric Dampier was so far behind that play. Every time Amari goes to his double clutch game, it just doesn't work.
5 to shoot. Nowitzki a 3. He's so good in games when facing elimination. Now 25 for Nowitzki.
Why did they back off Dirk Nowitzki to guard Eric Dampier?
Jim Jackson, he tries. 3 off the mark. Howard the board. Great fight back by the Mavs, who lost their compass in the 4th quarter. Deflected out of bounds, 12 to shoot.
Well, you only need one player to find your way, and the guy that did him for him early in the quarter was Jason Terry. Now it is Dirk Nowitzki coming up with 7 quick points to give him a 4-point lead.
Terry rimmed out Richardson the rebound.
Keep forcing Jason Terry left. And Nash cannot get open.
There's Stoudemire down the lane, tried the reverse finish. Couldn't get it. Dampier the rebound for only the 2nd time tonight.
Amari Stoudemire will look back at this game and see all the soft finish attempts.
Jackson, Nash coming down the lane. Pitch in the corner, Marion a 3. Richardson, weak side rebound. Oh, it's got to be a foul.
Absolutely.
Howard hit his head as well.
The Mavericks only have 1 team foul.
Howard dove, made contact with the floor. I believe you could feel and hear his head almost hit as he went down. As the staff comes out to look, it is a timeout taken here.
According to trainer Casey Smith, he will try and stretch it out, and he will return to the game, but he is in some pain as he will continue here, Mike.
Man, it was the unanimous ACC Player of the Year. First man to do that since David Thompson.
Right. What the Phoenix Suns need now is a score. The last couple of times down, they really haven't known where they wanted to get their points, and it's hurt them. Nash.
For 3, the Suns have missed their last 8 field goals. Stoudemire or Jimmy Jackson? Jackson. 4 on Jim. And free throws coming at the other end. As what Avery Johnson asked for at the start of this quarter has happened. Dallas into the bonus first. And they've committed only 2 personal fouls.
Phoenix was so hot early in the drought that has plagued the West for so many years since.
The entire West?
What is this, the Weather Channel? Dallas has committed, guys, only 5 fouls here in the 2nd half. Part of the reason Phoenix has been able to get back. It's been less physical defense by Dallas, but there hasn't been the easy free throw points for the Suns.
The Suns would get a lot more free throw attempts if Amari Stoudemire would quit double clutching in the basket area.
8-0 Dallas run. Stackhouse 1 of 2 at the line. Nash doing it on his own. Fouled on the pass.
Jason Terry's playing tremendous defense tonight.
His offense hasn't been anything to sneeze at. 30 points. Couple off a playoff career best that he set game 4 against Houston. A reminder, SportsCenter full coverage of this game, the opening of Interleague Baseball, and more coming up as soon as we're done. 3 scoreless minutes for Nash and company. Can Richardson change it? Missed the 3. Nash the rebound. His 7th.
But see, they have decided, as good as they are at shooting the deep ball, they have decided exclusively to chase the deep ball, and it cost them. Marion off balance on that shot.
I think
he had no idea he was that wide.
Yeah, he was expecting a defender in contact, and he got nothing. Final 2 minutes. Mavericks by 5. It's in their hands to send it to Phoenix for Game 7. Terry and Nowitzki have carried them. Terry at 3. Dampier trying to board it. Stoudemire comes away. Marion the run out. Count it, and a foul. Nowitzki trying so hard not to let him get the shot off. Couldn't be physical enough and a chance for a three-point play.
Mistake. Huge mistake. It's a chance for them to make it a two-point game. 1:41 left in the fourth quarter. Give up this.
But
don't give them a chance for a three-point play.
One of the things that makes Phoenix such a desirable and enjoyable team is that they're undersized at every position.
Stoudemire, 6, fouled out.
Tough night for the kid. You know, he's had some cheap calls in this ball game and never really got a rhythm in the game. His coach gambled, and he will be ready to play in Game 7 back in America West, should they need him.
Stephen Hunter checks in his stead. 32 minutes for Amari on this team that's not very deep. 18.6 rebounds. Every point is big now. Dampier is 10 of 26 shooting playoff free throws this season.
And Dampier's got 12 points on a lot of dunk opportunities as the Phoenix defense is broken down. Sadly for Eric Dampier, though, just 1 rebound on the night.
Twirl sideways with some side spin as part of the rotation. First one worked for a 5-point lead.
Just off the mark.
Rebound by Richardson.
Again, Phoenix needs to think of getting 2. Keep the game close.
Nash, the double, Arian free. Tries the acrobatic finish. It is tipped back in by Hunter. 2-point game, 88 seconds to go.
2 guys for Dallas going for the block on a wild attempt. Wide open lane for Stephen Hunter.
Jimmy Jackson came to help out on that screen and roll defense. Nowitzki turns, shoots, missed. Richardson, Phoenix can tie or take.
Finds Steve Nash quickly.
He's got it. 1:05 to go. Nash for 3 and the lead. Got it to go. Phoenix on top, 1 minute from the Western Finals. They haven't been there in 12 years. First team All-NBA.
Now, the 2 guys that have carried him in the quarter, Nowitzki and Terry, are trying to play catch and lead Howard free.
Goaltend.
And
double
Howard, as he has all game, keeps moving and gives the Mavericks a 1-point advantage.
Off the board, easy play to call. Not quite sure if you need to double team and help out Sean Marion there.
Nash has it knocked away. Phoenix has a bunch of timeouts, 3 total, and Mike D'Antoni's going to take one here with 34.6 to go and 16 to shoot. Phoenix has the ball, 16 to shoot. No fouls to give. Phoenix can stop it twice, Dallas once. Take a team, take me into a huddle. What do you want to do here?
Get the ball into Steve Nash's hands as quickly as possible. Jason Terry's been doing a magnificent job. Steve's the playmaker, create, and then try to free up someone on the perimeter with a shot.
Well, what you want to do is get the ball going to the hole. Good chance of getting a foul. They have excellent free throwers. So if Nash is the guy, he's got to think about getting to the rim.
And don't try to go 2 for 1 here. Get the best shot you possibly can.
Stoudemire, if you're just tuning in, is fouled out. McCarty in his place. Richardson to trigger. They have timeouts, and we'll use one here. 20-second timeout taken by Phoenix. They'll have 1 left. Dallas has 1 left. Game 7 of this series or game 1 with the Spurs?
They come with the same set and the same inbounder. You got to throw it in quickly.
Sean Marion, watched by Nowitzki. Takes him baseline. Quick shot. No good. Rebound, Nowitzki. is fouled. Jim Jackson didn't want to foul there, but it's called. Nowitzki with the defense, and the very good free throw shooter comes to the line.
Now, Sean Marion took a tough try. He didn't really have a good lane. He was trying to force the issue, and as a result, Nowitzki stayed inside of him and was able to get the miss. But there's no alley, there's no angle for him to make that drive, and he's hoping that his quickness after the miss will get him back.
It appeared as that was his plan, was to go for the second tip. But if you can't get the ball to the MVP of the league, how good a team are you?
Nowitzki 6 of 7 from the line, just to make it a 3-point game. Don't need 3, still have a timeout.
They want to try to extend the game. They got to come quickly.
Nash switch, Nowitzki guards him. These guys have done this thousands of times, playing one-on-one. Nash in the lane, trying to draw the contact, got the hoop.
Got a foul right now.
1-point game, 14.2. Stackhouse has missed a couple, go get him. Richardson does. Stackhouse is 7 of 8 from the line, but he's 2 of 10 from the field here tonight. He went 1 for 2 his last trip.
Stackhouse had that exaggerated deep knee bend, but that gets a lot of pressure off of his arm. He's able to make most of his free throws. He's 8 of 9 tonight.
Called a timeout before the shot, make him think about it.
Still, D'Antoni trying to get timeout. He didn't. 111-108. Nash goes. This is 3 for the tie. Good! Steve Nash again! 5.7, they inbounded. Don't take a timeout. Dallas on the floor. This descended to 7. Stackhouse off the rim. We go to overtime. Fifth overtime game of the playoffs. First for these teams. Dallas 2-0 OT in the regular season. Phoenix 1-3. But how we got to overtime. It's a 3-point game. D'Antoni starts to call for timeout. Doesn't get it because Nash was going, and they don't foul. Let him shoot the 3.
I think you have to grab him there or in the backcourt or make him go all the way to the basket.
Then Jason Terry's trying to call timeout. Dirk was yelling at Terry for not fouling. Stack comes down kind of by himself and takes that 3. Look at the confusion. And now after the end of regulation, Dirk is saying to Jason, what were you doing there at the end of regulation? Nowitzki has been animated and agitated at mental mistakes made by his teammates tonight. And then as he comes over to the bench at the end of regulation.
You know, Dirk Nowitzki is a lot like someone we're sitting next to. You know, he can always
but look at
throw out that disclaimer.
Look at the different leadership styles. Steve Nash always over there encouraging and positively supporting his teammates.
Dirk wanted it. Avery ran a play to get it to him. Dampier the tip, no. Rebound Marion. Stoudemire has fouled out of this game. 5 fouls on Richardson and Jackson for Phoenix.
In fairness to both of the guys, Terry and Nash, they're difficult covers, and Nash is on a little bit of a tear right now.
Richardson.
Can't buy a shot.
Another rebound for Nash. His 8th. He's 2 away from another triple-double. How about back-to-back playoff triple-doubles? Sean Marion, the 2.
Got hit.
Foul on the arm.
But how about how hot Nash is, and he keeps passing to guys who can't finish. Nash in the last 8.5 seconds of the game had 5 points with the drive down the lane and then the 3-pointer.
I thought you said his job was to get his teammates involved. He's got to keep them involved. He knows he can get a score anytime he wants, and so he's trying to get Marion in the game, trying to keep Richardson in the game along with Jimmy Jackson. They do those things, then it's easier for him to get the big bucket.
Marion, the first 2 of overtime. We'll get to the micro of this overtime as it moves on, but just a step back. Dallas has not played good defense in the second half of the entire series. They let Phoenix score 58 in the second half to come back, get this to overtime. Nowitzki missed, couldn't squeeze it. Jim Jackson the board.
Dirk is so angry, he's trying to do it by himself.
Q cannot get going from 3. Richardson off the mark all night. from behind the arc.
Richardson's problem as a shooter has been he can't get the ball over the rim. Everything is hit the front rim. He needs to think about getting it over the rim.
Mavericks need on-court leadership.
Nash comes down with the foul from behind.
They're all yelling at each other. They got no continuity to their offense whatsoever. Everybody's just getting the ball and going one-on-one.
It is an elimination game. It does bring out the very worst sometimes in the team and the teammates.
The foul on Nash was his first.
But who's going to say something to Dirk Nowitzki about calming down?
Probably Dampier.
8 to shoot. This is Terry. This is 3. Jason Terry has a playoff career best 33 points. He's had 2 30-plus games in elimination games. Nash responds with another 3. 35 for the MVP.
But the great hand signal coming up the court, the little hand on the rib to signal for that screen by Marion to come up and free him.
On the switch, Terry has Marion. Tim Jackson at Nowitzki. The help comes from Hunter. Dirk cannot finish. He's 0 for 3 in OT. He's complaining about every call. Marion, open, 3, sure. And Avery Johnson wants a timeout. The Phoenix Suns, a 5-point lead.
And again, go back to what D'Antoni said. They can't take this pace. We got to continue to stay at this pace, keep the pressure on. Stackhouse.
Attacks the rim. Gary Stackhouse.
And that's all Dallas needs is a score. They got to continue to find ways to keep the game close. Don't think that they have to come back, bust the 3 to get back in this game.
But Nash is so hot right now.
Oh, man, Steve Nash. It's hard to remember many players having consecutive playoff games like this.
He's got 3 in a row now.
It really is. You want to hesitate before you overstate it. But this is pretty special stuff. Stackhouse.
Stackhouse coming to life, but where is Lance Armstrong now? He's in the Pyrenees. Is he pulling away from the competition?
He's on the Alpe d'Huez right now, Steve. He's leaving people in the rear view mirror.
Nash keeps the dribble alive with the left hand. 8 to shoot. Marion was pulled up. Stoudemire takes that and dives down. He's fouled out. Marion the little pull-up. Sean is 34. There are no defensive answers for the guys in white right now.
The decision-making by Steve Nash just flawless.
He draws Stackhouse. He wants to take him down there and draw another one. Hunter came over for the block, but picked up the personal foul.
Tough play. Hunter brings that arm down, and that's what gets the call against him. If they kept that hand in the air, it would have been okay. All of the Suns react because they're a minute 34 from going home and getting ready for the San Antonio Spurs.
That looked like Jerry Stackhouse just throwing his body right into Stephen Hunter.
Well, offensive players get those kinds of calls.
But Steve, we've seen as this game has turned, the benefits of playing as a team the way the Phoenix Suns do, as opposed to the individual style of the Dallas Mavericks. They have to take Dampier out.
Because they're going to need more points here, and right now Michael Finley comes in. Even though Finley is only 2 of 10, he has 5 points. Walter McCarty has checked in for Phoenix.
And you can see that Finley's just stiff as a board, trying to shake it out a little bit.
Stackhouse, who hit the big free throws at the end of regulation. Still a 1-possession game, 90-second. Dallas, they needed better defense in this game. Got it in the first half. They need stops here. Nash tied up, gets it to Marion. 10 to shoot for Steve. Oh, the bounce to Marion!
What a pass. This guy, Steve Nash, is unbelievable. With all these giants out here, Stoudemire, Nowitzki, Stackhouse, Jason Terry, little Steve Nash, who is the most unathletic player in the entire league. There's nobody that makes you say, oh my gosh, did you see that?
The most unathletic? He's got to be something. He's doing pretty good here. He's holding his own as Marion steps through the line.
Who's got less athletic ability?
Well, it's not Steve Nash. I mean, Steve Nash plays a lot of sports, and that's telling you that he's a pretty good athlete.
Steve Nash is an unbelievable athlete, Bill.
The guy can't run fast. He can't jump high.
Let the two of us.
He's got no muscle.
Let the two of us bring you back in. Grateful Red going down the stretch here in Dallas. The lead is 5.
Well, you know Stackhouse is going to be coming to the rim. He's going to try to get inside, make something happen. Oh, Nash on the foul.
Almost like Terry had too much time. That is the 5th on Nash. So Richardson, Nash, and Jim Jackson at 5. Stoudemire's fouled out.
Jason Terry was shocked that he got the ball out of Jerry Stackhouse's hands.
So here comes Michael Finley to the line. There you see Nash and Marion have carried the load with Stoudemire on the bench.
Take away the 6 points of Stackhouse, and this game is over. Stackhouse has kept him close. Finley with 1.
What a disappointing night for Michael Finley. 9 points in game 4, 7 points in game 5, just 6 points here tonight. He hadn't had back-to-back single-digit scoring games since January. 2 big ones there. 3-point game.
How about taking the ball out of Nash's hands with a double team? Let somebody else beat you. He's proven he's going to get it done.
Screen and roll with Marion. There's the switch.
Well,
they're the best friends.
They like to switch everything, and Nash always has an advantage. Tries to squeeze it off inside.
Richardson missed, got the rebound again, slapped away by Terry. 39.9 remaining in the game. Overtime number 1.
This is where the Suns are at their worst. They can't get the ball in bounds here.
Phoenix 2 timeouts. Dallas 1. Fresh shot clock is waving everybody away.
Nash is going to try to eat as much time in this possession as he can. Then he's going to come to the rim. Avery Johnson is telling his guys no foul, and Josh Howard, one his better defender, stay up.
Same place, back to back. Nowitzki and Nash, they go at it again. It's pitched from Marion. This would be a killer. No good, rebound Dirk. He is fouled by Jackson. Nowitzki hurt his left ankle. He goes to grab the ankle. Jackson has fouled out. Dallas is going to have a chance to get within 1 with plenty of time left. Let's see how Nowitzki is.
If you're the Phoenix Suns, make this a free throw shooting contest.
If you're the Phoenix Suns, you could be in huge trouble. You don't play a lot of guys because of the injury to Joe Johnson. And now 2 of your starters have fouled out in Jackson and Stoudemire. Jim Jackson, 16 points, 4 threes, some big hoops at the start of the 4th quarter to get Phoenix back in from that 16-point hole.
If you're Phoenix, after this free throw situation, you're thinking about running the clock out. Don't let him catch up with you and run the clock out. Don't allow the foul to take place. If you're Dallas, you got to look at Walter McCarty as the guy you want to see fouled. Barbosa is coming in the game now. He hasn't played. This is a lot of heat for him to step up and make a pair of free throws.
Good call on Barbosa, Snapper. He has not played at all in the second half or overtime. Just the 8 minutes in the first half for the second-year man out of Brazil.
Does Dirk miss one of these?
12th best shooter in the league. One more to make it a 1-point game.
As an intentional miss.
Still have a timeout.
No.
1-point game.
You don't want to miss intentionally. You can get a turnover. A lot of things can happen. He missed it anyway.
Not intentionally, and he fouls Quentin Richardson. Wow, so Dirk Nowitzki, one of the top 12 shooters at the line, 87%, goes 1 of 2 there. And Phoenix, if they make their free throws, can make it a 2-possession game again.
Tension, and Dirk Nowitzki fell a little bit on that second one. Normally, after you get the first one as clean as he got it, the second is no problem. Richardson has struggled all night long. See how he handles the heat.
Hasn't been great in the playoffs at the line, below his regular season.
Every shot he's taken tonight has hit the rim. He has not given his shot a chance to go in. Everything is short. He's got to get the ball over the rim.
Dirk looked at Avery. Timeout after this free throw coming. Big free throw, Richardson. 3-point game. Dallas will get it at midcourt, 13 and a half seconds remaining.
You missed the three, you're cooked because you've got to come back and foul.
I think you go for three here.
Quick three, Nowitzki, no way. Rebound, Nash. They'll go for the steal, but they foul one of the best shooters in the league. Steve Nash has a chance to close this series out at the line.
But you got to make that three.
What is wrong with you? The shot is a deep shot. He's fading away, and he's had a tough time here in the fourth quarter. They run a play, and this is a fading three-pointer, and Nash gets the rebound.
Huge free throws. Nash has hit all five. It's a two-possession game. No timeouts. 8.3 to go.
That last shot was a microcosm of the fourth quarter and overtime for the Dallas Mavericks. Individual play, bad team chemistry, and now their season is over.
Nash hits them both. Devastating screen on him. Terry puts it up, knocks it down to three. 3 seconds left. They deflect the inbounds. Now Ronnie Garrett's going to come over and just make sure everything is correct with the clock. It is a 2-point game. It was deflected out of bounds, so it will be a sideline out of bounds without the ability to run the baseline. And a timeout taken by Phoenix, and they'll advance it. Let's see. If it was deflected out of bounds, you would be able to advance it. Marion has it. He's fouled by Nowitzki. 1.1 goes off the clock.
That's all they could do. They have got to be able to stop the clock, give themselves one more chance to maybe come back, make another three. Marion has got to make both of these free throws to put that possibility away.
2-point game. You want to think about fouling depending on where Dallas is able to advance the ball if they need a three to tie. Sean Marion comes to the line. 83% shooter regular season. Very good here tonight. And the next one will make it a two-possession game.
A player, Marion, who so often gets overlooked with the attention for Nash as the MVP and Amari Stoudemire.
He makes it, two-possession game. Phoenix just stays out of the way, and they are safe. Inbounded to Nowitzki, who hurls it. It doesn't matter, and for the first time in 12 years, the Phoenix Suns go to the Western Conference Finals. They've eliminated Dallas in 6 entertaining games. High scoring, and Dirk Nowitzki and Steve Nash, the two best friends, 6-year teammates, lead their teams to a great series. And that embrace is not the end of their conversation. Surely they will visit even more in the back after the game. A hug of respect from Avery Johnson and others as the Suns have gone from one loss away from having the worst record in the West, turned it around 33 games, and taken it to the conference finals.
Michael Finley just embraced you, Darrell Armstrong, and Dirk Nowitzki. What did they say to you? These are your former teammates.
They just said congratulations and, keep going. That's about it.
Is there any sweetness attached to this for you?
No, I mean, it's a heck of a lot better than losing. So I'm just going to say that. And, I always wanted to finish my career at Maverick, but I've had an incredible time. These guys are a lot of fun to play with, and I'm having as much fun as I've ever had.
Tell us a bit about the comeback. This team was down 16 points with 4 minutes left. Where did you guys find the wherewithal to withstand this and come back?
Well, we've always had it in us. I think all year we've won a lot of games where we've haven't played great. We've just got stops down the stretch, and obviously our offense speaks for itself sometimes. So, we just got to stay hungry and realize we're just a team that's trying to improve every night.
Steve, you got game one. Sean Marion has joined us out here as well. Don't have much time. What about San Antonio now?
We're going to be ready. I know they'll be waiting on us. We're going to be waiting on them right now. We got to get ready. We got to get ready for them. And we're going to play on Sunday. I think it's going to be a good series, and we're going to be ready.
Gentlemen, congratulations. We look forward to game one of the Western Conference on ABC.